The story opens at a large modern hospital before moving inside to the psychiatry department. In an office, a female psychiatrist asks her young muscular patient to confirm his bizarre symptom that he perceives every living creature as a pig. The young man simply nods. Taken aback, the doctor leans forward, asking if he's joking and if he sees her as a pig. With a dead serious expression and intense glowing eyes, the patient confirms this is correct. The narrative then shifts to the patient's perspective, showing he sees his psychiatrist not as a human, but as an anthropomorphic pig wearing glasses, confirming his unbelievable condition. Despite her shock, the psychiatrist internally notes how handsome he is. Deciding to test his condition, she begins unbuttoning her blouse, suggesting they check his bodily functions. The action catches the young man completely off guard, leaving him wide-eyed and sweating. Leaning closer with her shirt partially open, she seductively asks what he sees. From the patient's perspective, the sight is grotesque. Not only is her head still a pig's, but her breasts have become two smaller blushing pig heads. In contrast, the psychiatrist's inner thoughts reveal her vanity, finding it impossible that someone so beautiful could be seen as a pig. The patient stands up and bluntly answers, "I see two pigs." Hearing his literal response, the psychiatrist's demeanor changes from seductive to horrified. Clutching her shirt closed, she recoils, finally convinced of his mental illness. Changing the subject, she sits at her desk holding a model of a human spine and informs him he has severe spinal problems. She elaborates that his spine is severely deformed and twisted, compressing his brain and optic nerves, theorizing this might be the root cause of his perceptions. The young man is stunned by this revelation, his eyes wide with shock. The doctor gravely explains the only solution is a high-risk surgery to realign his spine, warning that failure could leave him paralyzed from the neck down. The patient nods intently, but his demeanor suddenly changes. He interrupts her with a flat expression and glowing red eyes, reaching for the model and asking for his spine back. The psychiatrist is taken aback, realizing he believes the model is his own spine. She internally laments what a waste it is for such a handsome man to be so delusional. Later, Yichuan is seen on a crowded bus holding a medical report diagnosing him with severe mental illness. The scene shifts to his perspective, showing the bus filled with anthropomorphic pig people. He reflects he has always seen the world this way, speculating it's because his parents were pig butchers. He muses that the condition doesn't affect his daily life with the major exception of dating. Clutching his diagnosis, Yichuan thinks about the day's importance. It's the day he will awaken his profession, and he'd hoped his illness could be cured before the ceremony. Arriving at the magnificent Qingqing Academy, he sees a crowd of students before a massive glowing blue crystal. He worries his mental illness could negatively affect the awakening, creating a huge problem for his future. A female voice calls out, and a young woman with long light blue hair approaches, relieved to see him. She chides him for being late and playfully threatens to beat him up, clenching her fist. From Yichuan's perspective, this cute girl is just another pig person. This one with blue-hued features shaking its fists menacingly. Oblivious, the girl gets comically angry, shaking him and demanding to know if he heard her. Their interaction is noticed by a passing student who calls the girl Su Lingxian and teases her for being lovey-dovey with Yichuan. A companion adds that they are childhood sweethearts who will probably marry soon. Flustered, Su Lingxian shouts at them, then tells Yichuan to ignore the gossip. From his perspective, the blue-hued pig girl makes the same suggestion, and he calmly agrees. A commanding voice booms as an elderly man before the crystal announces the ceremony is starting, instructing students to line up. He explains the awakening is based on their core attributes like strength, agility, and spirit, which they've honed at the academy. Higher attributes improve the chance of an advanced profession. He stresses the gravity of the moment as their awakened profession will affect their entire lives, declaring an advanced combat profession a fate-defying achievement that brings glory to them and the academy. The elder instructs the first student to place their hand on the platform. One by one, students step forward. A muscular boy awakens an intermediate metal worker and looks disappointed. Another awakens an advanced healer, while a third awakens a junior engineer and collapses in despair. The next student, a muscular young man with reddish-orange hair, approaches the crystal. The moment his hand makes contact, it erupts in brilliant golden light, revealing his result. Combat type profession, rare tier, shadowless bladesman. The academy elder is stunned, his jaw dropping. He exclaims in disbelief that it's a rare tier profession, and the students gasp in shock and awe. The elder, revealed to be the principal, beams with delight and asks for the student's name. The young man proudly introduces himself as Lu Jinglong. Overjoyed, the principal praises him and offers to personally visit his home to discuss his future path. Lu Jinglong thanks the principal, then turns to the crowd, waving smugly as his peers cheer for Bro Long. The principal calls the next name Yechuan. From the crowd, Shulingxuan shouts encouragement. The principal observes Yechuan with interest, knowing that while the boy is strange, his stats are insanely high. He reflects that Yechuan's combined attribute total is 10, over 3 times the average. Hoping for a miracle, he watches Yechuan place his hands on the platform. Instantly, the crystal explodes with a cataclysmic surge of lightning, far more powerful than before, its force buffeting the principal and sending the crowd reeling. The principal stares, aghast at the power, wondering if the blinding energy is golden light, a sign of an awakening beyond rare tear. As Yechuan stares at the raw power he's unleashed, the principal's eyes widen. Divine tear, he yells, confirming the legendary highest possible tear. The energy coalesces, and glowing words announce the baffling result. Life-type profession, divine pig butcher. The principal is left speechless and horrified, unable to comprehend how a divine tear awakening resulted in a simple pig butcher. The student's shock turns to mockery. The crowd erupts in laughter, questioning if the crystal malfunctioned and debating whether a divine tear awakening makes Yechuan incredibly lucky or unlucky. The principal seethes with rage and disappointment, feeling heaven is playing a cruel joke on him. After years as principal, he finally saw a legendary divine tear awakening, only for it to be the most useless profession, a pig butcher. He laments that a divine blacksmith or healer would have been something to boast about for years. Overcome with frustration, he thinks the higher his hopes were, the bigger the disappointment. Turning to the isolated Yechuan, the principal is at a loss for words, managing only a deep, frustrated sigh as the boy walks away. As he walks, Yechuan notices something unexpected, a holographic blue screen that only he can see. It's a system interface displaying his complete status, including his new profession, talents, and skills. His talents are Swine Nemesis and Blade of God Slaying, and his first skill is Blood Shadow Butcher, which forces pigs into a state of fear. Most importantly, his Swine Nemesis talent grants a 50% bonus damage to pigs, a bonus that increases with every pig killed while also reducing damage from pigs by half. Yechuan's eyes lock onto Swine Nemesis. As he reads about the 50% damage bonus, a subtle smile spreads across his face. The full implication dawns on him, his eyes glowing with red intensity as a powerful realization washes over him. He thinks that maybe being a lunatic isn't so bad. The final scene shows his perspective again. The entire academy, from the dejected principal to the jeering students, is a massive crowd of pigs. He concludes with the triumphant thought that his new powers are perfect because in his eyes, the entire world is full of pigs. As Yechuan walks away from the awakening crystal, still shocking the principal, his classmates start to make fun of him. Lu Jinglong and his friend enough to leave her alone. As Su Lingxian approaches him, Yechuan offers a simple congratulations. However, her attitude has completely changed. She calls his name in a cold, serious voice. With her arms crossed, she says there may have been some misunderstandings between them, but she wants to clear things up. She then coldly tells him that they are no longer from the same world. Yechuan is clearly stunned by what she said. Meanwhile, Lu Jinglong and his friend watch from the side, smiling and enjoying the public rejection. To everyone's surprise, however, Yechuan's shock quickly turns into cheerful agreement. Thinking he is just putting on a brave face, Xu Lingxian continues in a pitying tone. She tells him she knows this must be hard, and he doesn't have to pretend he is fine. She coldly says that as just a pig butcher, he will never do anything important. At this, Yechuan's face hardens as he tells her not to blame him for his out and stumbles backward in fear. The source of his fear is revealed. Lu Jinglong is trapped in a scary vision from Yechuan's ability. In his mind, he sees himself as a terrified pig tied to a chopping block. Yechuan looms over him, his eyes glowing red as he raises a large butcher's knife. Lu Jinglong is frozen with the fear of being killed. The vision breaks, and back in reality, Lu Jinglong is on the ground, pale and sweating. The crowd, not knowing about the mental attack, laughs at his sudden fall. His friend rushes to his side asking what happened, but Lu Jinglong can only stare in a panic. Humiliated and angry, Lu Jinglong gets up and glares at Yechuan. He furiously yells and throws a powerful punch at his face. However, Yi Chuan reacts with amazing speed. With a calm look and a glowing eye, he meets the punch with his own fist. The two fists are about to hit with Yi Chuan's body covered in a red aura. The impact is instant and powerful. Lu Jinglong pulls back, screaming in pain, his hand red and broken, the bones seemingly crushed by the force of Ye Chuan's block. The shocking result leaves everyone, including Shilingshuan and Lu Jinglong's friend, completely stunned. They can only stare, wondering what is happening. Holding his broken hand, Lu Jinglong yells in disbelief, finding it impossible that he was beaten by just a pig butcher. In contrast, Yi Chuan stands calmly in a crackling red aura. He coolly says that as a pig butcher, it makes sense for him to have strong hands, finally showing a small piece of his profession's true hidden power. As Yi Chuan stands his ground, the crowd is in an uproar. Lu Jinglong's friends question what is happening, pointing at the terrible state of his friend's hand. Full of pain and rage, Lu Jinglong screams at Yi Chuan, threatening to kill him. He roars as he channels his power, creating a bright cyan energy sword, his void-long sword in his good hand. Seeing this, the gossiping girls in the crowd are sure the fight is over. One says that Lu Jinglong is finally getting serious, and Yi Chuan is dead for sure. The other wonders why a pig butcher would dare fight a combat class user, wishing he had just apologized when he could. The crowd knows Lu Jinglong's sword is strong enough to cut through a steel pipe. Burning with shame and wanting revenge, Lu Jinglong raises his weapon, screaming he is going to cripple Yi Chuan. But just as he is about to strike, the air grows cold and snowflakes begin to fall. Ice starts to form along the blade of his energy sword. The frost spreads quickly, covering Lu Jinglong's body in ice and freezing him. He struggles, horrified that his body won't move. He turns his head with great effort and glares at Xu Lingxian, angrily asking why she is still helping Yi Chuan. Xu Lingxian stands with her arms crossed, surrounded by a powerful frosty aura. With a cold presence, she tells them to stop. Looking at them both, she explains she doesn't want to see them fighting over her. The scene pulls back, showing the three of them standing apart in the plaza. Xu Lingxian looks at Yi Chuan one last time and says he must see now that they are not from the same world anymore. She tells him this is the last time she will help him and that it's a final farewell to their past. In response, Yi Chuan just stands there with a bored look, casually picking his ear, not bothered by her words at all. With her back to him, she gives him one last warning to leave Qingqing. She makes it clear that the next time Lu Jinglong seeks revenge, she will not help him again. Yi Chuan, however, is not impressed. He lets out a large yawn and casually says that if there is nothing else, he will be going, turning to leave. The two gossiping girls who were watching are left confused, saying to each other that the boy isn't taking the serious situation seriously. The scene changes, and Yi is now walking alone down a city street at dusk. His walk is interrupted by a woman with a large, mean-looking dog. The dog barks aggressively, blocking his path. Yi Chuan's eye flashes with a faint red glow as he notices them. Instantly, his view of reality changes. To him, the woman is a large pig woman, and her dog is a monstrous snarling boar. Back in reality, the dog lunges and bites his pants leg. Unfazed, Ye Chuan calmly asks the owner if she can pull her pig away before correcting himself to dog, saying it is blocking his path. His comment makes the woman furious. From Yi Chuan's view, the pig woman gets in his face and screams at him, asking if he owns the road and accusing him of having no manners. Instead of getting angry, a sense of calm comes over Yi Chuan. He takes a deep breath, thinking this is perfect timing. He has a theory about his new powers he wants to test. Without hesitating, Yi Chuan tests his theory. He gives the aggressive dog a single powerful kick that glows with a faint blue energy. The kick is instantly fatal. The owner watches in horror as the dog's spirit floats up from its body. She cries out in despair, calling the animal her son. Immediately, a blue system notification appears in Ye Chuan's vision, confirming his extra damage has increased by 1%. Staring at the message with wide glowing eyes, he confirms his theory was right. His swine nemesis ability works on any creature he sees as a pig. The enraged owner lunges at him, her face twisted with rage. She screams that he is a murderer for killing her son and threatens to fight him to the death. Unfazed, Ye Chuan simply states that he is a psychopath. To prove it, he calmly pulls out his medical diagnosis, showing her the word psycho on it. With a cold expression, he asks if there is anything else. Otherwise, he is leaving. The woman is terrified. She thinks she has run into a real psychopath and that if he could kill her dog, he could easily kill her. Her aggressive attitude disappears. Putting on a forced smile, she quickly tells him it was nothing and wishes him well. The story moves to Yi Chuan's home. Inside, he is greeted by his parents. His muscular father, Yi Chiyuan, laughingly asks if he really became a pig butcher, while his mother smiles gently. Yi Quan confirms it. His father is overjoyed, pulling him into a proud hug. He calls him a stinky kid and says he's happy Yi Chuan is taking after him, believing it's great to be honest pig butchers. He feels this life is better than fighting and killing and tells Yi Chuan he will take him to the slaughterhouse the next day. Later that night, Yi Chuan is sleeping peacefully in his bed, wearing a pig-themed onesie. While the family sleeps, a mysterious figure in shadows with one glowing blue eye appears outside the home. The figure appears at his parents' bedroom window. The shadowy figure whose face is wrapped in bandages expresses disbelief that the son of Ghostcry is a simple pig butcher. He then asks Yechuan's father if the boy is really his son. In the darkness, Yaki Yuan's eye snaps open. He is awake and looks much tougher than before. He warns the figure not to disturb their family again, threatening to be less polite next time. The shadowy figure advises him not to be angry. It seems to have confirmed what it came for, stating that since the son is just a pig butcher, the organization will not trouble them anymore. With that, the mysterious figure, the moment he grips it, a blue system notification appears. It says a pig-slaying knife has been selected, and his god-slaying edge talent is now active. This ability will give him 0.1 free attribute points for every pig he kills with this knife. With his son armed, Yechuan begins the first lesson. He explains that the first step is to learn how to use the knife as a large pig carcass is hoisted before them. From Yi Chiwan's view, the dead animal looks like a monstrous snarling boar. His father continues, telling him to aim for the weak spot for a clean one-hit kill. He then steps back and tells Yi Chuan to try. Following his father's instruction, Yi Chuan swings his new cleaver. The blade glows with red energy as it cleanly slices through the pig carcass, decapitating the monster in his vision in a single move. A system notification appears confirming the kill of one chilled normal pig. It tells him his level, bonus damage, and free attribute points have all increased. His father, Yi Yuan, praises him, but notes the strike wasn't precise enough, advising him to aim for the next carotid artery to be more efficient. Yi Quan simply nods. His father places a hand on his shoulder, acknowledging that slaughtering pigs must feel dull for someone his age, but it's how they make a living. However, Yi Chuan's expression is eager. He points to a large bin of carcasses and asks if he can slaughter all of them. His father laughs with pride at his son's enthusiasm and happily agrees, even offering up the pigs belonging to his colleagues for practice. What follows is a montage of focused slaughter. With each swing of his glowing red knife, Yechuan kills another pig, and new system notifications show his level, rapidly increasing from 2 to 4. At the end of the day, Yechuan sits in the quiet slaughterhouse next to two massive piles of slaughtered pigs. He stares at his status screen. A final notification shows his progress. He killed 49 pigs, increased his bonus damage to a 100%, and raised his core attributes from 10 to 15. He is now a level 5 apprentice. In the slaughterhouse, his father's colleagues approach in shock. One butcher asks Yi Chiwan if that is his son, saying with disbelief that the boy seems addicted to slaughtering pigs and has just finished all their work for the week. Yi Qian chuckles with pride, not surprised by his son's work. He proudly says it is to be expected because his son is a divine pig butcher. Meanwhile, Yi Qian holds his new knife, reflecting on his progress. He feels he has gotten comfortable handling the weapon and decides it is time to leave the slaughterhouse and see what the outside world has to offer. The next day, Yi Chuan, carrying a backpack, is ready to leave. In this world, dangerous monsters are common. Humanity lives in a federation divided into 9 districts, and Qingqing City is on the edge of the 5th district. Yi Chuan arrives at a massive stone gate with borderlands carved above it, the exit from the city into the dangerous wilds. Just as he is about to pass through, a city guard stops him. The guard warns him that with a life-type profession, he is only allowed to go 1 kilometer from the city. He stresses that if he travels farther, his life will be in danger. Yi Chuan, looking determined, simply nods. Ignoring the guard's warning, Yi Chuan ventures deep into the dark forest of the borderlands. As he walks, a rustling sound in the bushes catches his attention. Suddenly, a small green creature with a wicked grin leaps from the shadows with a small dagger, letting out a shrill battle cry as it lunges at him. Yechuan calmly identifies the monster as a goblin. Seeing an opportunity, Yi Quan's eyes glow red. He decides to test his blood shadow butcher skill. A system notification confirms the skill is active. The effect is instant. The goblin's aggressive look turns to pure terror and is paralyzed by a sudden killing aura. With the goblin frozen, Yi Quan easily dodges and in one swift motion swings his knife and slices the creature down. Another system notification appears. It confirms the kill of one chilled goblin pig, and just like with the other pigs, his level and bonus damage have increased. He realizes that the stronger the pig he kills, the greater the benefit. He stands in the dark forest examining his status screen when he notices something. All around him in the woods, dozens of pairs of glowing green eyes have appeared. He recalls a warning from a former teacher. If you see one goblin, it means a whole group has already marked you. Instead of showing fear, Yi Chuan looks almost happy. With his knife ready, he remarks that it looks like he is about to level up again and eagerly challenges the goblin pigs to attack. With battle cries, the goblins swarm him from all sides. What follows is not a struggle, but a display of masterful butchery. Yi Chuan moves like a whirlwind, his knife glowing as he effortlessly cuts down goblin after goblin. Soon, only one goblin is left, trembling in terror as Yi Chuan's cleaver hangs over its head. With his eyes glowing red, Yi Chuan looks down at the terrified creature with a dark smile. The last goblin turns to run, but it is too late. Having killed the entire group, Yi Chuan follows their trail and soon arrives at the entrance to a large dark cavern. He figures this must be the goblin nest. The sounds of screams and battle soon echo from inside the cave. The scene inside is one of absolute carnage. The cave floor is covered with the corpses of dozens of slain goblins. Yi Chuan has wiped out the entire nest by himself. He stands calmly and looks at a new system notification. The screen shows his level has increased to rank 6 apprentice. His attributes have soared to 25 and his pig nemesis bonus damage is now at plus 120%. As Yi Chuan stands in the silent goblin cave, a strange noise from deeper within catches his attention. He quickly turns toward the sound, which seems to come from behind a crude wooden barricade. Without hesitation, Yi Quan delivers a powerful kick shattering the wooden planks. His silhouette is framed by a menacing red glow as he steps into the newly opened area. Inside, he makes a horrifying discovery. A young woman with short blonde hair is tied up with red ropes. She has a gag in her mouth and is terrified. Surrounding her are 2 small baby-like goblins crying for milk. The captive woman's eyes are filled with tears as she looks at her potential rescuer. Her thoughts are desperate plea for help. The terrified captive girl trembles, bound and gagged in the back of the goblin cave. Yi approaches her and raises his glowing pig-slaying knife. Thinking he is another threat, the girl squeezes her eyes shut, silently pleading for her life. In a flash of red light, Yi Chuan swings his blade. The blade moves in a precise arc, not to harm her, but to slice through her ropes while killing the 2 infant goblins beside her. Freed, but shocked by the violent action, the girl screams in terror. Yi Chuan crouches down and calmly tells her to stop shouting, informing her that all the goblins are now dead. The girl's terrified gaze shifts to the side, where she sees the slain baby goblins, and finally understands he was saving her. Overcome with relief, she throws her arms around an uncomfortable-looking Yi Chuan. She thanks him again and again for saving her, explaining she was about to be violated by the goblins. Flustered by the hug, Yi Chuan awkwardly says that he did not come here to save her. Pulling back, the girl looks at the cavern filled with the bodies of the slain goblins. She asks if he was the one who killed all of them. Amazed by his power, she asks if he has a combat-type profession. Ignoring her questions, Yi Quan simply turns and begins to walk out of the cave. She calls after him asking for his name. Without looking back, he gives a simple reply, Yi Quan. After freeing the captive, Yi Quan points her in the direction of the city. He then turns and walks back into the dark woods to continue on his own path. However, he soon realizes he is not alone. He stops and turns to find the rescued girl timidly following him from behind a tree. Yi Quan suddenly appears right in front of her, startling her badly. He aggressively questions her, demanding to know why she is following him and accusing her of being a goblin spy. The girl, terrified by his sudden appearance and his knife, quickly denies it, explaining she is just too scared to go back to the city by herself. Seeing her fear, Yi Chuan calms down and asks for her name and what she was doing in the borderlands. The girl introduces herself as Xia Nan Nan. She explains that her mother's birthday is in a few days, and she had come to the forest hoping to find a rare blood moon flower as a gift, but was captured by goblins. She then proposes a deal. If he helps her find the blood moon flower, she will help him find the best weaponsmith in Xinqiang to forge a new knife for him. Yechuan is not impressed by her offer. He dismisses her, asking if she knows how much it costs to hire the city's best weaponsmith. He bluntly tells her to go back and stop following him, threatening to chop her if she doesn't. Cyanenin is left fuming at his cold rejection. She thinks about how she is a great beauty and can't understand why he is so cold to her, wondering if something is wrong with him. Refusing to give up, Cyanenin plays her final card. She runs to catch up with Yiquan, demanding to know if he knows who she is and proudly announcing that her father's name is Xia Beihai. The name makes Yiquan stop. He recognizes it instantly. The Xia family is one of the 4 great noble families of Xinqiang, and its head Xia Beihai is a powerful 9th rank master. A devious smile spreads across Yechuan's face. He thinks that, with her father's money, getting 10 top-tier butcher knives would be no problem at all. To prove her identity, Xiannan proudly shows him a small, fancy jade amulet. She explains it is a protective amulet from her father. She claims that because of it, even a powerful expert could not harm her, but the goblins were too smart and captured her without setting it off. She says they couldn't get near her to harm her, which is why they just locked her up. Yichuan leans in to look at the amulet, confirming it is a genuine product of the powerful Xia family. Now convinced, Yichuan's attitude changes. He tells her he believes her and agrees to the deal. He will help her find the blood moon flower, and she will help him get a top-tier knife forged. Overjoyed, Xiannan eagerly shakes his hand, exclaiming that they have a deal. She then pulls out a folded map. Unfolding it, she points to a location marked with a red X, explaining that it marks the location of the blood moon flower. However, she warns him that there is always a guardian, a dangerous blood moon great python. They stop to study the map, and Xiannan explains the danger. According to a survival guide, the python has strength similar to a 9th rank apprentice. She doubts that she is strong enough to deal with such a creature. Yichuan, however, seems unconcerned. Instead, a wide excited grin spreads across his face as he exclaims that he has never seen a giant python in his life. His strange reaction leaves Xiannan confused, and she wonders if he is listening to her. However, she reasons that since he killed a whole goblin tribe by himself, he must have a powerful combat profession. With the plan set, Yechuan cheerfully tells her to get going and puts her in charge of leading the way. Cyanenin can only look at him with a confused expression. For some reason, she feels that this strange young man is both reliable and completely unreliable at the same time. As they venture deeper into the wilderness, they move quietly through some tall reeds. Xiannan suddenly stops and warns Yichuan to be quiet. She points out a massive creature resting ahead, identifying it as a silver-horned rhinoceros and stressing that they must not provoke it. She explains that once the rhinoceros gets angry, its strength becomes like an 8th rank apprentice, making it a very strong enemy. She advises that they just need to quietly go around it. However, Yechuan has other ideas. To Xiannan's alarm, he raises his pig-slaying knife threateningly over her head as she crouches. She nervously asks him what he is doing. With a look of determination, Yichuan declares with strange logic that if the creature eats grass today, it will dare to eat people tomorrow, so it cannot be left alive. Xiannan is left completely speechless, unable to understand his weird reasoning. Before she can protest, Yichuan leaps into action. He charges the resting rhinoceros, somersaulting through the air. In a blur, he brings his glowing knife down in a powerful cross-shaped slash, hitting the rhinoceros before it can react. The powerful beast collapses, killed instantly. Blood sprays from the wound on the creature's neck as Xia Nannan watches, completely stunned. She can only stare in disbelief, her face a mask of shock, as she struggles to process that he killed such a powerful creature in a single easy strike.
Alright, that's the end of the story. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.